Good morning, Washington staff, students, and community. Today is Friday, June 5th. When we met as an administrative team on Monday, after witnessing a full weekend of protests, rioting, and unprecedented arrests, after some discussion and unpeeling of raw emotions, we decided that our theme for the week would be hope. When the riots of 1992 broke out, I was 18 years old. The riots of 92 transpired in response to the not guilty verdict of LAPD officers responsible for beating Rodney King. Coming to work this past Monday, I felt disheartened, sad, frustrated, and despair. I thought to myself this: how can we be in the same place as a society nearly 30 years later? In 1992, as an 18-year-old black man, I certainly had more than a few brushes with racism. But I had friends of all races and backgrounds: black, white, Asian, Latino, you name it. I thought society was definitely changing. I saw it changing. I just knew that society would be more accepting of others and their differences, certainly by the year of 2020. And then there's George Floyd and several other instances, year after year, of police brutality committed against people of color. That's why I came to work disheartened and in despair. Then Ms. Hernandez, our counselor, mentioned something that gave me hope. Ms. Hernandez reminded me that we are not in the same place as we were 15, 20, or even 30 years ago. She told us about her experience of graduating from Lakewood High in 2004. There are barely any counselors, administrators, or teachers who looked like her and represented her culture. Diana told us a story of going to the counseling office at Lakewood High and leaving feeling disenfranchised and rejected. Now, 16 years later, Ms. Hernandez comes to work at a middle school in the same neighborhood where she grew up. Ms. Hernandez shared how she was proud to see a black principal and assistant principal at Washington Middle School. She spoke about how she felt excited to work with a diverse population of teachers who represented the students they teach. Ms. Hernandez is so proud to serve the community that raised her. I look back at the high school I attended. At Bellflower High, we had one black teacher when I graduated in 1991. Her name was Miss Wayweather, and I later became best friends with one of her two sons. Rest in peace, Bertram. Now, as I look around the schools in Long Beach, I am proud of the diversity I see among teachers, counselors, and administrators. We are beginning to be represented by our community leaders. It wasn't like this 30 years ago. When I was 18, there was no way you could have ever convinced me that we would have a black president in my lifetime. As I look back in the riots of 1992, most of the protests were contained solely to Los Angeles. But with the murder of George Floyd, I see people of all backgrounds, all races, black, white, Latino, Asian, young, old, poor, wealthy, coming together to protest police brutality and equality. These protests are occurring in hundreds of communities all across the United States of America. This gives me hope. This is not the same as 30 years ago. On Tuesday's morning message, Miss Ellie showed pictures of our beautiful city of Long Beach. She reminded me of just how much I love this city. This reminded me that there's no other city in which I would choose to raise my son and daughters. I love the diversity and many cultures of Long Beach. I love our food. I love our oceanfront. I love our weather. I love our music. I love our sense of community and resilience. This brings me so much hope. We are not in the same place we were 30 years ago. We do have a lot more work and fight ahead of us to achieve equality. But I do know this, students, you have the power and strength to control your own destiny through education, through knowledge, through hard work, caring and compassion for others. You can and will make a difference.